meeting of the Carroll County Commissioners to order for July 9th, 2014. First item on the agenda will be public input. Yes, sir.
A couple of questions. First, following up on a few things from yesterday's meetings, I was wondering if the letter had been sent yet to Mason and Rich.
The letter was typed up. I signed it. We were waiting for the final questions from Bulio for 2010. We have not got those. I just tried calling him again this morning, and he's not in yet.
Okay. Second, just looking at the minutes from the meeting, I was wondering if the engagement letter with Bulio and Company had been signed yet for the 2010 audit.
To audit the financial statements for 2010?
According to the minutes, the engagement, on page 2 of the minutes, the engagement letter for the 2010 audit, which the commissioners have in hand.
Yes, that was signed.
Okay.
That's when you signed for 2010.
Yep.
And it's a financial statement, audit of the financial statement.
Okay.
Okay.
There are a number of audits that will be performed by Blow and Company, county audits as well as a departmental audit of the jail. And I just want to verify that all of those, including the jail departmental audit, will be made public as soon as possible.
At this time, I see no reason why they can't be.
Okay. And I believe on the agenda today is bids for the old nursing home.
Correct. Yep.
Right. And I just wanted to, maybe as part of that discussion, you could discuss, it is my understanding that the specifications were changed during the course of the RFP process. After the RFP had gone out, the bid specifications were changed. And I would like...
Can you tell us what the changes were? I'm not aware.
According to a previous meeting, there was some discussion. It was my understanding that the RFP went out and said there are specifications available at the county complex.
Right.
And that there was a change made to those specifications.
What was the change?
I don't know. I'm just saying that was on the video, I thought.
Yeah, yes, actually it was, and I don't remember the specific change, but the old RFP had more items in it than the new one. And when the new one was published, the old items were still on it, and I think those are the changes he's referring to. They were truncated off of it.
But I don't think, my recollection is that they were in the ad, that when the truncated version was the ad, not...
Well, that may be, but the
I don't remember any changes being made out.
I don't know if
possibly during the course of the discussion you could just verify that there were no changes to the bid specifications during the process, and that if there were changes to the specifications, every interested party did get a copy of the new specifications.
Would have to be, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Anybody else? Public input. Mr. Brown?
I'm looking at the minutes of the June 10th meeting, page 5, last paragraph. On Commissioner Sorensen's motion, seconded by Commissioner Babson, the Commissioners voted to release the minutes of the second non-public session of June 4th, 2014 as redacted. All members voting A. The next paragraph, page 6, Commissioner Sorensen then announced that Superintendent Jason Johnson had resigned his position citing personal reasons. Assistant Superintendent Jason Henry was named acting superintendent of the House of Corrections. and it goes on, but that's the,
Mhm.
if that non-public portion was unsealed of June 4th, was unsealed on June 10th, then how could Melissa Siemens post the public announcement of what I just read the day before on June 9th if one of the commissioners did not release that non-public information prior to the unsealing of those minutes, right here in the minutes of June 10th?
All right, let's go back again. You said June 24th or June 4th minutes?
I'm reading the June 10th minutes
Okay, but
right now, but
in the beginning, you said June what?
June 10th, you unsealed a portion of the June 4th non-public minutes,
That's
Okay.
on page 5.
which is, like I read on page 5 of June 10th, and then going on to page 6 of the minutes of June 10th, that you did this.
Okay,
So if you unsealed that portion of the June 4th minutes on June 10th,
Okay.
yes,
but Melissa Siemens posted this exact information as a public announcement on government oversight the previous day. Now, she couldn't have done that unless someone released that non-public information that was still sealed until the following day when you unsealed them on the 10th. So somebody released non-public information. And I have the proof, as a
okay,
matter of fact.
okay,
It was posted on Government Oversight on June 9th at 8:55 a.m. Basically, about 23 hours and 50 minutes previously, for the Board of Commissioners unsealing that non-public information. So I'd be asking, and I don't, with the history between Melissa Siemens and Commissioner Kenney, I don't think you're gonna be able to blame this one on Commissioner Kenney. But there was clearly, someone released non-public information. And I have my proof right here.
okay,
So who released, it had to have been one of the two of you, released non-public information to the county reporter.
I haven't,
I haven't.
Then how did she get
I don't know.
non-public
idea.
information?
Have you got an answer for that?
Can you just remind me, wasn't a statement issued from the county, either from the HR department or the commissioners, announcing that you'd accepted Jason's, sorry.
I have to go back and
Yes,
look
it
at the
was,
minutes.
but I can't tell you
I
the
haven't
date
fired
or the
this up
time.
yet, so I can't pull it up, but.
But they couldn't have done it because it was still sealed at that point. Until,
No,
it was sealed until the 10th.
I think that part of it you released in a separate press release or a separate statement. It was either on your website or it was emailed out to people.
The vote is right here to unseal on the 10th.
Right, but just that section, because I remember reading something separate from minutes.
I-
It was issued by the
Yeah.
county stating that, with regret, thanking him for his service. I just have to pull out and see what date that separate press release was issued, so.
I talked with the chairman of the delegation, Representative Umberger, and told her that Jason Johnson had resigned. And she said, you should immediately put out a press release that Jason Henry is taking over as interim. So that's maybe where it happened. It was released to the paper that he was taking over.
You would have had to unseal those minutes first to do that. Those were sealed, non-public minutes at that point. They were sealed non-public until
Yeah.
you voted on June 10th. And it actually specifies the time that the vote was taken, 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay,
So you would have had to unseal those non-public minutes to release that information as a public announcement. So someone released non-public minutes. And I'm so sick and tired of, it's one commissioner always being blamed.
Okay.
You released but now it's clear, and I have the proof that it was done, that someone released non-public information, and now you're trying to make excuses for that. How do you have it
I'm
both
making any
ways?
excuses.
We're not making any excuses.
Let's move on, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead,
You didn't do
Melissa.
it. You didn't do it.
I just wanted to add, and I'm not sure without actually checking on this, but I think that you have full authority to release information about decisions that were made in non-public. What you're releasing when you release the minutes is the discussion that happened. But as far as any decisions that come out of those sessions, you can make that information public. I don't know.
I don't know why.
There was those,
Yeah, you can.
that non-public meeting was sealed,
Right, the
Let's move on,
discussion
Dave.
that happened in non-public.
was sealed. So that
The
discussion,
decision is public. You can always come back into a public meeting and say, we had a long discussion and we decided that.
well, I'd like, can you show me that, where it says that the discussion cannot be made public, but that the decision was in the RSA? Can you show me where it specifically
It
says
doesn't
the,
specifically.
oh, so now, okay, so it's an interpretation.
All right, we're gonna move on. Mr. Brown, if you've got something in writing or those minutes, I'd like to see them and compare them, okay?
Yep.
So we understand what you're talking about. We're gonna move on, it's 9:15. Our schedule calls for Will DeWitt. Will?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Got a couple of quick things to discuss.
Thank you.
Is that a picture of the truck, Lily?
I don't have a picture of the truck.
Show you that a truck. Thank you.
Well, we're hoping to
Oh,
discuss
okay.
that here coming up. First, quick few things to go through before we get to the truck discussion. Just update what's been going on the farm. The garden is coming along pretty good. I think when I was looking out there the other day, some of those peppers might be making a comeback. That the geese strip that we talked about last time I was up here. We got a couple things that we're working on planting left. I've got them started in some starter spots. Is the broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. The female offender started planting those yesterday, and we got a little bit more to go on those. Trying to keep up in the garden. Having them out there dedicated to it, they've been doing a really good job. The garden looks really good this year, I think. They're stringing the tomatoes and doing all kinds of good stuff out there. So that's coming along. The hay's going really well. We're almost halfway done with the first cut, I would say. The areas that I normally get second cut on are, of course, the ones we did first, and then I've gone back and refertilized those. So those are already fertilized, hoping we'll get a nice...
Before the rains?
Yep.
Great.
Yep. We got them in, I got it fertilized last week before we got all that rain. So I'm hoping that's doing good. The numbers on the bales are a little bit lower compared to last year per field. You know, I track each field of how many bales we get, and the numbers are a little lower. I don't know what's really causing that necessarily, but it just seems to be a little off this year. Of course, they vary every year to year. They'll go up and down, but the blueberries are starting to come in. Looks like maybe by the end of the week or next week, possibly, we'll be looking at picking blueberries.
Yeah.
Of course, again, the numbers aren't, I don't think they're going to be I'm predicting they're not going to be as good this year just by looking at the amount of blossoms and such. It seems like we're a little low this year. I don't know if it had something to do with the weather. I know I talked with Olivia and she said that was the same case with like the apple orchards and stuff.
Yep.
And you said yours looked a little bit lower this year. So,
Do you have any mummy berries?
not that I'm aware of.
Boy, I've got a lot.
Yeah,
You might want to check.
I'll have to take a closer look.
You know what they are, right?
Yeah.
They turn a,
Yeah, the mushrooms and they send the
Yeah.
spores up. Yep.
yep, okay.
We've had a few tractor breakdowns. Nothing too major. We've been able to fix them and get back to work. And then we've also been working on some of the leaks on the big tractors. Some of the hydraulic leaks are getting worse. So this year we invested in some seals, spent some money on that to try to fix some of those leaks because believe it or not, now a 5-gallon pail of hydraulic fluid is almost $100, 80 some, 90, almost $90 for a 5-gallon pail of hydraulic fluid. So it's worth putting a few $100s into seals. So we've kind of been working on that, trying to track some of those down. The campfire wood's going out pretty good so far. I expect it, 3 days last week we sent out deliveries. We got another one going out this week. Usually after we get into July and August is when they really start to, you get a slow start and then all of a sudden it's just bam, bam, bam. So I'm expecting it to pick up here in the next couple of months. The lawn care has been going good, I think, overall. The crew is doing a really excellent job. The supervisors watching the crew and the ones out on the mowers have done really good. This year we kind of switched up to some of the push mowers being baggers, and it seems to give it a better, it's in the long run it seems to be quicker, and it also gives it a much prettier look, I think, out here. So
I had written down the lawns look great.
Yeah, good. Thank you. And I'll make sure I pass that on to the employees because they've taken real a lot of pride in making sure this look good. The next thing is I found a truck that I wanted to discuss. I'm hoping to possibly get a motion and a vote from the commissioners today on this truck. I think it's exactly what we would like for the farm. We've been looking, pricing a lot of trucks, checking things out here and there over the last few months. This is a 2002 GMC 1 ton. It's a dump with a rack body on it. The rack body on the back looks almost exactly like the rack body on our delivery truck that we have right now. It's got the same doors that swing open and everything. It's very, very similar, which is very, very useful for the types of work we do. It's got I think it's around 40-inch sides, so they're high sides, almost 4-foot sides, which will come in handy for different stuff. It's got 31,000 miles on it. I believe it was a one-owner vehicle. This purchase would be through DePrazio's. I think they either traded in or it's a consignment sale, one of the two. DePrazio's, we've bought several vehicles for them, and they've always done good prices for us. It's got a 9-foot minute mount 2 Fisher plow on it, which I don't foresee this being a truck that's doing a lot of plowing in the wintertime, but when we have one of our other trucks go down, it's nice to have a backup. That happened to us once or twice last season. Some of the hydraulic pistons went on the other truck, and it would have been nice to have a second as a backup. It's got I already talked about the rack body. It's a gas engine, which we wanted, with the Allison transmission. The dump is a fully hydraulic hoist in the back for that.
Excuse me, Will.
Yes, sir.
Are you talking about the hoist? Are you talking about a tailgate that goes up and down, or a body that goes up?
The whole body.
Okay.
Yep, the whole body. It's just what I mean by
And it dumps, or it goes straight up and down?
It dumps. It's a regular dump.
Will it go straight up and down also? Like a scissor lift, if you want to back in and go up 6 feet, will it go up level so it won't dump? Or is it strictly a dumper? Strictly a dumper.
Strictly a dumper. Yeah, it's not it's strictly a dumper. And what I meant by that is a lot of the newer ones now are you got a little electric button. This one is you still put the PTO in gear and have a lever like the older style dumps. That's what this is. It'll have a state inspection. I asked to have it done. There's a couple of things that they brought it in the shop to find. They're putting a new muffler on it. Manifold needed some bolts on it. The e-brake was a little rusty, and there was a leak in one of the transmission lines, and they were going to repair all that. So this price would include all those repairs by the time we get it, have the state inspection with a 20-day plate on it. And they came up with the price of $14,973, and we have that amount of money between what was budgeted and all the things that we've been selling. We broke down the truck and sold that, the wood processor, the hay bine. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a couple other things that we've scrapped and sold, and so we have that money. We may be a couple $100 short possibly. I haven't gotten a final number from Kathy downstairs. If we are, we have that left over in our new equipment fund from the farm. We budgeted $3,000 to get a rake. We only spent $1,900 on a rake, so we have some extra money there that if we needed to pitch in for this. By all accounts, I mean, I was all around it, laying under it. It's got some surface rust a little bit here and there, but overall the truck looks very nice. For that kind of money, the types of trucks we've been looking at in that price range have been in way worse shape, especially with a plow. Not that we were looking for a plow, this just happened to come with one, which I think is sweetened the deal also. It's nice to have that.
Go ahead.
Will, where was this parked up on blocks? You got 31,000 miles in a 12-year-old truck. That's less than 3,000 miles a year.
Right. What I was
Believe
told.
the mileage?
Yes, by the look of the truck, I do, and it came from down south. From what he told me, Tim DePrazio, I talked with him. He said it came from down south. He almost didn't go down to look at it, but then he went down, looked at it. It was a one owner. The guy had some plowing contracts, and his wife was the one that this was the truck she was going to drive, I guess. But because of the rack body, she couldn't see real well out of it and didn't prefer to use it very often, and that was why. That's all I can tell you. That's what I was
down
told.
South Alton or North Carolina?
I don't think North Carolina. I think New England.
So it was somewhere down in the
southern part of the state or Massachusetts.
So it still had the New England weather on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of a warranty are we getting on it? Any?
I can ask. I don't know exactly what warranty we'd have on it.
I would think we'd at least get 90 days or some set of miles.
I can ask about it. I mean, it is a used, older truck, so I don't know.
This is a 1-ton?
Yes. Yep.
Have you looked at any other trucks?
Yes, I've been looking at a lot of trucks throughout the last, both we've gone and looked on site on trucks and also on Craigslist. I've been on there. My employees have been on them quite a bit, keeping an eye for the last, basically since the budget was passed at the end of March. And we haven't found anything that we really wanted to come and discuss with the commissioners until this. There's been some that have come close, but this is, I feel confident to come ask for this money for this truck. Its main purpose is going to be a yard truck, but truck is in good enough condition. We feel that we can possibly do one-core deliveries in it if we need to, because it's inspectable. I've already got a couple of customers, or at least one customer that's interested in buying some of the loam out here and having it delivered. It lives locally. This truck would be perfect for delivering some of that loam if we want to sell some yards of loam out there. It's going to be great for the, all the stuff on the complex that we need, and it'll be its primary job. And I feel that we should get a truck that we're not coming back to the delegation in another 2 years looking for more money, because that seems to be not a fun route to go. I'd rather get a truck that's going to hopefully last us a few more years than some beater would.
Yeah, that one I told you about, the Ford, it had over 200,000 miles on it for $7,500. It's probably just ready to put a lot of maintenance work into it.
Right.
So, okay. Anybody else got any questions?
Point of order. Do
Go
we
ahead.
even know if we have money for this truck?
You just said we did.
But with the recent activity going on, do we know if we even have any money?
Oh, come on. We've got money. Anybody got any further questions? You want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, but I'd also like to include somehow, we get some kind of a warranty on
Warranty?
this. We make a motion to purchase the truck, provided they give us a 60-day warranty or 20,000 miles, something like that, something reasonable.
You want to put that into your motion?
Yes.
60-day or 20,000 miles? Do I hear a second?
For discussion, I have a question.
You second it? Okay.
Second for discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if it is a good idea if we put in how many miles and a warranty. I think we need to talk to the pre-show Ken and ask them and talk what kind of warranty we can get. I don't think we can just make a motion and put in what warranty we want. We can make a suggestion, but I think you should go back to the pre-show and talk to them about a warranty. Is there even any warranty on it? We don't know that. And look what we can get.
Go ahead.
I think Commissioner Kenney has a good point, except I think this way, Will can go to him and say, the commissioners approved the purchase if we get some kind of a warranty. And then if they give him one or guarantee him something, he can come back next week and we can change the motion if we have to. But let's not take away his leverage before he gets there.
Go ahead.
And if we want to come back next week, that's, I mean, like commissioners, that's fine. But also keep in mind, I planned to come and ask for this last week because I found this truck a week before. So we're sitting on 3 weeks right now. And they have had other, of course, they're salesmen, I realize that, but they have told me there's other people looking at this, but because they do a lot of business with us, they've been willing to hold it. So if we want to do it next week, I mean, that's on the commissioners, but just keep in mind, please, that we have been asking them to hold this at this point for 3 weeks because there was no meeting last week.
How long are they holding the truck now? 2 weeks?
At this week, as of right now, it'll be about 3 weeks that they've been holding it for us. So.
Go ahead.
Why can't Will go downstairs right now and call him up and tell him this is?
And I could do that if
And
you
ask him and come back up here.
Yep,
And I could do that if you'd like.
okay.
Okay.
We'll hold the motion.
Have Mr. Brown come to order, please.
Okay, we'll hold the motion then until you
Okay.
check on it.
Sure. And can I do one more? Yeah.
Yep, go
Quick
ahead.
minute, real quick. It's got one other recent thing that's happened out at the farm with some of the pigs, and I just wanted to share this with the commissioners of what took place last week. A couple of the sows that I've been telling the commissioners that willing to donate donated. They went out. I delivered them to a USDA butcher. They were butchered, and then I went and picked up the meat and brought it back to the nursing home for Rob. We got loin roasts out of them, and Italian sausage and breakfast sausage is what he
Is that what he wanted?
Yep, that's what we got out of it. Good size. We had 10 to 12 pound loin roasts, and then we had it packaged like 5 pounds for each for the sausage, different sausages. Hanging weights, and I just want to run some numbers. As hanging weights, most farmers, when they're going to sell meat, they go off a hanging weight price because the butcher is the one that does the weight, so it's fair a third party is weighing it. So these two pigs hanging weight were 630 pounds and 640 pounds. So a total of 1,270 pounds hanging weight is what was donated. Pigs right now are running between $3 to $3.50 a pound hanging weight when you look on Craigslist. Some people include butchering fee in that, some don't. Usually the ones that do include butchering fee are a little higher towards the $3.50 range. So I just went with the $3 range because the county paid for the butchering. So the $3 times the $12.70, you're looking at $3,810 worth of pork that was donated. For actual, if you want to talk about actual meat, usually when you take your hanging weight, 70% of that is what you actually get in the freezer, by the time they cut it all up and everything. So that comes out to about 889 pounds of meat that should have been approximately what they had over there. And when you pay the butchering fee for the two pigs, it was $555, and you divide that by 889 pounds, you get about 62 cents a pound is what you got those loin roasts for, and the sausage. That's essentially what the county paid for it, outside of letting me use the pig barn and the classes that we did.
So 62 cents a pound, was that just the slaughtering, or was
Yes.
that the total?
No, that's just the slaughtering, because that's
Just the
what
slaughtering, 62 cents a pound.
that's what the nursing home paid, was a slaughtering fee, and that came out to 62 cents a pound. The rest of it was just donated to them. So, there's been some different discussions up here a lot. Seems like every time I talk about the pigs, it's a lot of discussions. And you know, last time I read in the newspaper said I was misleading people. I haven't misled anybody. You know, I can't butcher pigs when they're pregnant, and it also anybody that gets pigs done, you know, you have to get a butchering appointment ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's taken this long. But
It has to have state inspection.
yes, and those all happened. You know, they had the litter, they've raised the litter, weaned the litter, and now we have them in there. So, you know, I just want to say that I'm not being misleading on anything that I've talked about with these. And there's proof of money, as far as I'm concerned, that I've contributed.
Okay, Commissioner Babson.
Yeah, well, Willie, thank you very much. I think it's a shame with the interest in raising pigs that we have by the general population that there's 3 or 4 representatives that don't feel you should have been here and that you were using county funds to do it. I think it's a very generous contribution, $3,800 worth of meat. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry that the delegation put you through it.
Okay, change the subject a little bit.
Sure.
I left you a message on your phone regarding telephone poles that were 24 to 30 feet long
Yes.
for $60 a piece. Did you?
I just got the market bulletin yesterday down there,
Yeah.
so I was going to look through that this morning once we got done with this meeting and call them up and ask them
They had
what's
18
going on.
of them.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that would be a pretty good price if you can get them, if that's what you want.
So
Telephone poles.
I'll look into that.
Okay. Okay, we'll
And
wait for you to come
I'll
back.
run down real quick and make
Yep.
that phone call and come back.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, well, one other question. You don't have any idea how many bags you've sold to date, have you? Roughly, of firewood?
I have that information in my office. I just haven't looked at it in a while, to be honest with you. So I can definitely make sure I have that on my agenda for next time I come
No,
see the
that's all right. I
commissioners.
mean, I go in the barn all the time and I see it loaded up and then I see it half empty, so I know they're going somewhere.
Right. I want to say that we've sent out 3,000 or 4,000 so far at this point.
And
That's
we
just
get $275.
$275 a bag plus delivery fee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bob?
Good morning.
Morning.
Here for the bid opening.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Maybe Mr. Murray and Mr. Cardelli could get together and find out where this rumor that we changed the bid. I don't remember it.
Do you recall changing the bid?
As far as,
Well,
The old
Representative Cardelli can tell you. We didn't-
no, well, way back when we first introduced the bid, we publicly discussed me going over the specifications that you had provided me, just
Yeah.
polishing them up. And I did that and presented them to you.
Well, we didn't do it after it went out for bid.
No. Okay.
I believe there was something, didn't we already put it on the site, on the website? And then later we changed it a little bit? I think we did.
I don't know, but we got 2 bids. Why don't you open them up?
I think Asha might be right. We made a,
We changed it later,
we
yeah.
changed something simple.
Yeah, we
like
changed
this.
it.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was. There was nothing. I think I have a vague remembrance of something being changed.
Was it the specification that the roof be flat versus,
There was something changed, that was correct.
We talked about that in our first discussion.
About a flat roof versus a pitched roof.
Yeah, and that was all part of me going over the
Part
bid
of it.
specs, polishing them up.
Okay.
So that's it, we
But-
have only 2?
But nothing's changed since that.
Well, we got,
Where did the bids come from? Where'd yours come from?
mine came from XL Construction and Management. And they are in Newfield, New Hampshire.
And what is his bid again? For the what? this bid is for?
For the repair work, the renovation of the old nursing home, and tearing down of the 2 wings.
Oh, didn't we had?
The 2 wings, the roof, the laundry room.
Oh, this is just a tearing down part.
No,
Well,
it's a
it's a
3-phase.
renovation of the whole.
The whole renovation.
Yeah,
nursing.
yeah. The renovation of the laundry room, the repair of the roof, and
Yeah,
the
this
tearing
is
down
all
of the wings.
Oh, this is another one.
I don't understand this one. This price for the work, 0. This price for the work, he hasn't filled it in. I don't see where he, you finish reading, I don't see where he gave us a price. This is, it could be, here, take a look at it, David, see if it's, here, take a look at that, see, I don't see a price in there. Where it says dollars, there's nothing in there.
All right.
And this bid comes from Olsec Construction. You spell it? O-L-S-C-A-K. And they are from Bridgewater, New Hampshire.
Do you see a price
Total.
on there?
No.
There's a price here, what I have, that is $426,700.
What's that?
$426,700. Also, this is always recycling, always racking. Didn't we bid on before for those, for the wings? Didn't we had always racking before?
Yes, we did. I think it was 75,000 a wing.
For one wing?
And if they found asbestos, it was an additional 14,000 a
It was
wing.
$100,000 a wing, wasn't it?
No.
And then additional if they found asbestos? 2 wings, they were.
Additional, if they found asbestos, then it'd be 14,000 a wing.
Here's the last page.
Well, this,
This doesn't have any dollars on it either.
Excel
Strange
Construction says they do not recommend removal of the existing roof. The roof itself is in good condition, very good in fact. The existing field of the roof is not the source of your leaks. The roof needs a very thorough review and rework of all fasteners, flashings, eaves, penetrations, and the large cap flashings need replacement. Price for the work, didn't put it in.
Wait a minute, there's another piece of paper in there, hold on.
Oh, gee. Can you get a membership?
Can I see that last piece of paper that I gave you, David?
That is strange. Why is there no price?
There's a price on this one, but it looked to me, I can't tell whether it's just for the laundry or just,
Well, they
Looks
say
like
the
it's-
laundry is not included in that price.
okay, well, he gave us a price for the laundry then. Here, there's the price for the laundry work.
No laundry equipment in this quote.
Can I see it when you're done? I just handed
Which
it
one you
over to you.
want?
I didn't- The one here, I didn't read it, I just handed it to you, but it was a price.
We did not get a bid from Bonapage and Stone, which originally had done the investigation on what needs to be done. And I believe they were sent a copy of the draft of the specifications, since they were the ones that initially proposed the work.
Bob, I forget, on the laundry improvements, did we include tying the pellet boiler into the hot water system there or not?
I think so.
So this is just moving and rearranging the equipment and electronics?
Yep.
Okay.
What is this one here? What's that?
That's just the qualification sheets of Excel.
Of the company?
Yeah. It looks like, wait a minute, hold on. Here it is here. There are the prices there, David. I thought I was seeing another one through there.
Demolition of the, it doesn't say whether they're doing one or two. I assume it must be two. Demolition of the two wings, $187,900. Added to the above, the removal of a second wing, so $187,000 is to take down one wing. We had a quote from Always Wrecking for $75,000, I believe.
What did you see, 101?
$187,900.
For one, right?
And then
Wow.
added to the above, the removal of a second wing. This scope will require a more involved rebuild in order to close off the remaining building. We have considered this work in our price, as in the base quote, utilities will be cut and capped prior to demolition. All other items as mentioned above will be included as well. The price for this additional alternative is $162,000. So we've got 180.
Roughly $350,000.
$350,000, right. Then the re-roof of core area, we would like to take this opportunity to explain that after a review of the existing roof, we would not recommend the removal of the existing standing seam metal roof. The roof is in good condition. Price for this work is $116,000. Now we're up to $465,000. You get anything
How
on
much?
the laundry was what?
It's up to $465,000.
Yeah.
You said 64.
Did you double the demolition price?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get the laundry?
Yeah. No, yes, I do.
What was the laundry?
67,310.
So now we're up to $533, but this doesn't include any new equipment in the laundry.
We weren't specifying any new equipment.
We do not include the laundry equipment in this quote. However, we have worked with S&S Commercial Laundry of Durham, New Hampshire in the past, and would recommend them for your design and equipment needs. We have included all work in preparation for your new equipment and furnishing. Price for this work, $67,310. We would be able to start immediately, and completion of all work could be completed by November 1st with an August 1st commencement.
Am I correct, the total bid is $537,000?
I had 533,200.
I assume you're not making a decision today, but,
No.
okay.
You got some follow-up?
Oh, yeah, no, I'd like to analyze these and make sure we're
Okay.
talking apples for apples.
Okay, that's that one. Now
And it
let's
is
look at this
always
other one.
reckoning it's a total bill of $426,700. And I don't know if you want to read this.
You know, I don't get the proposal. It says demolition of 1 or 2 wings and subsequent new exterior wall, 244,000. Well, is it 1 wing or is it 2 wing?
You're looking at it, Excel?
What's that?
Who are you looking at?
Always question.
Okay. That's the same guy that did the jail, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Rework existing penetrations to minimize quantity of penetrations and to improve integrity of existing penetration, 71,500. Laundry area improvements, 111,200 for a total of 426,700.
How much was
This
that?
goes into a little more detail as to new frost walls after you take down the 2 wings. Carpentry, blocking and removal of doors and windows, foundation cavity insulation, roof repair allowance, exterior windows, repair exterior wall with new 8-inch block, disconnect and terminate loop existing piping as needed, allow for relocation of existing fin tubes, I'm assuming that that's heat, as needed, sprinkler work, rework and refit existing sprinkler heads as needed, electrical support, disconnect and make safe connected various rooftop equipment to remain, demolition, cut and patch,
What do they say in there about the demolition? This one says will include the removal of the existing concrete slab, old underground plumbing and foundation. Upon completion of this work, the footprint of the old wing will be free of old building remnants. Asbestos shall be removed by a certified abatement contractor with evidence of proper disposal forwarded to the commissioner. Do you have anything like that in yours?
this one here seems to be more detailed, but.
Which one?
This one here. Always wrecking. about $100,000 difference. But I don't know what the difference is unless until you analyze the difference between the two.
Neither one of these say anything about leaving any of the, any portion of the old building that's, for instance, out of the jail, we got a whole bunch of marble, granite. Is there anything like that in this new one, or is it all brick
No.
and mortar?
All brick.
So nothing to say. How about the old bricks?
If you want them, I'm sure they'd be happy to leave them.
No, I'm sure. Let's get rid of them.
We got plenty of old brick out in the woods from the jail.
Is there there's no allowance in here for them? They take them all, or they take half?
The problem with the old brick is when they demolish it, you don't know whether they're taking the brick from the outside wall or the inside wall. The inside wall gets water in it, and the winter freezes it, and it splits up. The outside wall is good. Does it say how long the bids are good for? I didn't see it.
No, we're not gonna ask.
Right now, the roof is flat, right?
No,
It's not.
it's got a slight pitch,
It's got a slight pitch.
very slight, maybe one pitch, maybe 1 or 2 pitch.
Something like 18 inches over the whole width, I recall.
Yeah, it's not very much.
It's 18 inches, I know, over the wings, but I'm not sure about over the corset.
No, I think it's all
Cross
about the
section.
same,
Same?
yeah.
Okay? We'll give it to,
Give it to Bob and let him study it.
let's see that.
There's one more piece of paper here, because they all get stuck in the envelope. Where's the,
That is always wrecking, I always have it.
That's
Can I
all
see-
you got from,
Can I see the other one?
Bob's got it.
Oh, okay, can I see that quick?
You've seen this one already, I think, right?
Bob, did more than 2 people come in and look at the job, or was that all that came?
There was another company that came, but they didn't
Didn't
supply
bid.
bid, no.
I think it's a question of Bonnet Page and Stones, in their proposal, they were going to replace the roof.
But it was also like $500,000, or was it 550,000?
It was, well, the total was $1 million. But they were gonna replace the roof. Both these companies feel that, I guess they could be patched. Where there's protrusions through the roof, they would patch those.
And there's a lot, and a lot of them leak. But as far as the field, the untouched
Yeah.
part of the roof that doesn't have any penetrations, it's in
Are there
good
any
shape.
things that protrude through the roof gonna be eliminated?
There are a lot of things that can be eliminated.
Can be eliminated.
Yeah, some exhaust fans that we use for ventilation.
Okay.
You didn't hear back by any chance when I contacted the Department of Agriculture, and they contacted the food group over in Laconia. I don't know what they call themselves, but they were supposed to contact you. You didn't hear from them.
No.
Okay. That's for the kitchen.
So they both examined the roof, and they even said it is a metal roof,
It's a metal roof.
right?
Okay, you wanna give him
Oh.
that
Oh, the envelope?
Two, yeah.
Oh, and this is the card from Always Rocking.
Okay.
Put in their card.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Have we heard anything about the dining room for the probation?
I have not.
That
We
was
sent a letter of intent, right?
I did, yes.
So.
Well, I
we
wrote it and gave it to Cheryl, and I'm sure it went out.
And also, we put out a bid for that work.
Yeah, I saw that in the newspaper.
I haven't seen anything, and I don't know, do you know the date for deadline on
I forget,
the work?
we put it, it was in the bid,
Okay.
because it had to be completed by December 1st, didn't it? And what the department's lease is up.
I think so, yep. Okay,
All right. See you next week.
all right. If you have any questions,
Thank you.
give us a call, or call those people, and make sure we got good comparisons. Neither one of them has the equipment in the laundry room, I don't believe.
No, we weren't.
So that's added to it.
We weren't looking for equipment. We were looking to modernize, make more.
Compare it to the specifications that we sent out.
Yeah, no, we weren't looking for equipment. We were just looking to make what we have more efficient.
More efficient?
And functional, because it's in,
Yep.
some things are in a state of dysfunction right now.
Okay, all right,
But with the preparation to add equipment later, we're making room for it.
yeah, okay. Good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have we done anything regarding removal of stuff in the old nursing home?
A lot of stuff's gonna go to the front for Farm Day.
Okay. Okay, if anybody's got any ideas as to how to remove or to get rid of a lot of the stuff that's in the old nursing home, let us know. We talked about having an auctioneer come in, auctioning off stuff, taking it to the dump, putting it out there for the farm field day. We've advertised it to all department heads to take whatever they need to do their officers or whatever to make their operation more efficient. Otherwise, it stands as is. And I know Bob wants to keep a wing. I did go through the building, I think. Did you go through the building?
Yes.
And you went through it?
Yes, I've been through it.
Bob wants to keep one of the wings. He's got stuff stored in every room in one of the wings that we are talking about tearing down. And that's sort of yet to be decided then, whether we keep it or whether we, right now, the proposal is to tear down both wings.
I think that it depends on what happens with probation. If probation takes the dining room, I need that space.
Yep.
If probation doesn't take the dining room, I can do something with that.
They're gonna take something, whether they take the front portion or the back portion, I'm not sure which. The problem we have is we have barometric, bariatric, beds, wheelchairs. Some of our residents are sleeping in recliners, and so their beds have been taken out of the nursing home and stored there. I think there's 3.
There's at least
Howie,
3.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
So we do need storage, but whether we need a whole wing or not, I would question it. Whether you can tear down a half a wing or not, I guess is something maybe to consider, but there is storage need just for those kinds of things. And we have all kinds of wheelchairs, whether patients need a wheelchair right now. If they don't, we store them. We have to have a place to store them. I guess there's all kinds of reasons for having more storage.
This equipment you can't even call surplus. Surplus means you can sell it. You can't sell it because we use it.
That's right.
We just don't know when we're going to use it.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One quick question.
Howie?
Is the Commissioner's letter about the Mason Rich issue, or is that something else?
That's coming up later.
No, but
This is different subject.
I don't know, I just didn't know if I have to sit through all this. I'm interested in staying if it's for Mason and Rich. But if it's not, then I'm not sure if I want to hang out.
a good learning experience, David.
The letter has not been sent out.
Right, are you
We're
working
waiting
on
for
that?
Bulio to give us his final questions regarding the financials for 2010. He has not done that.
Okay.
Once he does that, then the letter goes to Mason and Rich to answer those questions. And then Bulio can do the auditing of 2010. Okay?
Okay.
That's where it stands right now. I put a call into him this morning. He wasn't in yet. The call was made on Monday, following the delegation meeting. So he's had time to look at it. Howard, you're on next.
Do you want to finish up with
How about Will?
Okay, I'm sorry, Will.
If you don't mind, thank you.
No.
Called them, talked to Tim Prezio. They're willing to do the standard guarantee warranty, if you will. 30-day, 3,000 miles, and a 50/50 on the powertrain.
30 days?
Yes, sir. 30 days, 3,000 miles,
3,000 miles.
whichever comes first, and 50/50 on the powertrain.
So, do you know what is the price of the powertrain? Do you know average?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the motion was 60 days or 20,000.
Okay, let's change
Want
it
to-
to, let's change it to 30 days, 30,000, 3,000
You
miles
want
and
to take back your
50/50.
second?
Yeah, well, if that is the warranty, I mean.
Okay, you're going to take back your second. You're
Put it
going
in the
to
motion.
take back your motion. You want to make a new
I'll
motion?
amend my motion to be 30 days, 3,000 miles, 50/50 on the powertrain.
You want to second that?
Second.
Hmm?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on it? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. So voted unanimously. Go get the truck.
Yeah, so can we just add the numbers in? Did you put a numbers in? Was like 14,000?
$14,973,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I'll put all the specifications.
Yeah,
in the
$14,973.
motion.
if you can put a numbers in,
Okay.
that'd be good.
All right, thank you, Will.
Thank
All
you.
right, Howard. We're running behind here.
David, I might remind you, we got an email, we got a call with Liz Bailey here.
Well, I know it, but it hadn't been
Good morning.
confirmed.
Good morning.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. Just a few things to bring you up to date on. Last week, we did suffer a lightning strike, took out our computer system, disabled Kronos for a period. It took out fortunately, it was all captured by the cable modem. So there's no internal damage to the computer system, but we were offline for a while until Time Warner was able to make that replacement. John was in and did his part of things, but it was disruptive for a little time, and but no other reportable damage. We did have some leaks that we can't attribute directly to the lightning, but largely to the wind blowing up through vents and the like, but no significant damage that way.
Okay.
Special thank you to Commissioner Babson for being present at the car show and presenting the Commissioner's Award at the car show, which by all report was a wonderful event. So thank you, Commissioner. That's
You're welcome.
You
I'm
want to
not,
report on that?
well, yeah, I mean, I'm not big into old cars, and I went there expecting to see just a few, and there were over 60 cars there.
How many?
60, over 60. I'm guessing that there were between 200 and 300 people that had come to watch it. It was well organized. There were some beautiful cars there. And,
You had a hard decision to make?
Huh?
You had a hard decision to make?
Well, I'm not being, I work on 1 horsepower, not 350, so there isn't a lot I knew about old cars, but I could set whatever criteria I wanted, so I made it the one most like the one I drove in high school, so,
Okay.
and gave it up. But it was really a nice day. It was well organized. It was a beautiful day. And it was a huge amount of people.
We're particularly indebted to Jeff Van Tassel and our activity staff for coordinating it, and the plans are that this is just something to continue to build on. They all have grand plans to make it bigger, better, and grander in future years, so.
Is that unusual, 60 cars?
That's, the other two that I'm familiar with are at Meredith Bay and at the Veterans Home, and they each bring in between 60 and 75 cars.
Really?
So it's this, these are dedicated people. If you get good weather, people want to bring their cars out.
And one other thing that I think was very generous of whomever won the 50-50 raffle donated the money back to the Friends of, I wish I had their name and I
I
could give
believe
it
it's
to you.
Kathleen Day and her husband.
Kathleen Day?
She's a staff member and her
Well,
husband.
she's getting credit for it.
She-
then,
A
because
staff member gave it back?
They
Gave
gave
it
the
back
money back
to the resident council.
Great.
That was a very generous thing to do.
It certainly was.
Okay.
Other things to briefly bring you up to date on project updates. Work has begun as of today is on the bringing the gliders with the help of the House of Correction and making available some labor. Our staff is preparing the framework. We're going to be going outside for the concrete for pre-mix, but we still have to do the form work. And with thanks to the help of the House of Correction, that work is starting today.
Where is that going?
In each of the courtyards, we're
Okay.
going to be pouring about.
We have two of them?
We have two wonderful gliders that were
Okay.
that were actually purchased about 10 years ago for about $6,000 a piece. Some of they're beautiful
Oh, yeah.
pieces of equipment, but they need to sit on to work properly. They should be on a pad,
Yeah.
and we're going to be coordinating that ourselves with the help of the House of Correction.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I go over there frequently for lunch, and the other day was just beautiful. Why don't we do more to promote that back door entrance off the room where the patients can get out and go? Mr. Moore's family had generously donated a peach tree or an apple tree or something that was being planted in the backyard the other day. And it was just lovely.
Backyard,
out
you're
there.
talking about that facing the old nursing home?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was beautiful. It was in the sun, it was warm.
Well, there are two general plans under consideration. The first one was right in front of Gunny Moore's garden to pour a large pad. And we looked and have some preliminary pricing on that. The concern was that puts it just far enough away that it might not see as much use and be supervised. And I forget whose idea it was just a little while ago, the thought of, we do have, well, actually what we have is tanks right outside the door. And it must have made sense at the time. But the thought was, if we created essentially a bridge over those tanks to a large deck area, still inside the fire road, that might be more desirable and more attractive, and still not impede the use and the ability to use those tanks. And quite frankly, it could be less expensive than pouring that pad. So we are looking for ways to take greater advantage of the outside. We need to get people out more.
The two garden areas, aren't they shaded quite a bit? And is that going to be good for the gliders, for people to use them in the shade? It'll be cooler there than if it was in full sun.
Well, the truth is about the gliders, they actually have canopies on them anyways. So whether out in the sun or in the shade, they're covered. The getting out of the direct sun is probably a good thing for the residents that'll be using them. So I mean, they are protected areas, but they're in an area where they'll get used, and that ends up being the most important thing. And the residents from the second floor will be able to come down and use them there. Whether or not, if we had that outside area out back, whether they could then be relocated out back, well, that's another option, or whether another kind of equipment would be better used, would be an option too.
Okay.
The kitchen, the Mount Washington Valley room improvements with adding the kitchenette, those cabinets have been ordered, but in some preliminary electrical work's been done, but no other work at this point. We do have a nursing home subcommittee meeting that will be meeting next Monday at 9 o'clock at Mountain View. And my understanding is that there's a delegation meeting at 10 o'clock following that here, but that I don't have confirmation on. That I don't.
Not that we know about.
Not that we know. We don't know about any subcommittee, we don't know of any
The subcommittee, I just got the
delegation meeting.
I just got the calls yesterday from Chris
Aldred.
Albrin and also from Mark McConkey. So that's the first I've heard of it.
Okay.
And there's no specific agenda that I know of. I think there is some question about funding the union contract. And I'm sure part of it is just an update. They want to see how we're progressing with the strategic plan, but I'm not aware of any specific agenda.
We're going to take some action on the union contract. today.
All the better. And as Commissioner Babson noted, a tree in memory of Harrison Moore, donated by family, has been planted. And that's all I have for you.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? If not,
Thank you.
thank you, Howie.
Thank you.
When's the next breakfast? Don't tell me it was.
I'm not
this
sure.
morning.
It's not
You
today,
hungry?
but but I will check with Rob and confirm with you.
All right, very good, thank you. Jason?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Couple updates. Currently, the GL has completed 800.75 hours of online learning through the Reliance Learning, so that's still going well. Currently have...
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Can we ask Mr. Henry questions, Superintendent Henry questions as we go along?
Sure.
Well, because Jay, what are you seeing as results of this training?
We're getting a lot of our mandatory trainings that we would have had to do on days where we have to have staff come in and pay them overtime. So they're able to do it on shift, so that's costing us less in training. We're getting a lot more training that we didn't have the opportunity before to get, like more in depth on PREA, Prison Elimination Rape Act, just a broader spectrum of different trainings that we're able to, readily available to get them to have and go through. With the system itself, like just because they have these hours, we have it broken down per person, for how many hours that they're taking. There is standards of how many hours they have to take for the end of the year. There's tests that come along with this, so they have course completion. So overall, the staff is getting a lot more training in general, a lot more knowledge, especially with the mental health issues we have going on. That this has been a big help.
Go ahead. Other question?
Question.
Would you say so far that, I know it was very difficult for you and J1 to get this through the Board of Commissioners. Would you say so far that what you presented was accurate? Not what you've presented to us, but what they sold you on was accurate?
Yes.
We're getting what we
Yeah.
thought was going to get.
Any other counties that have it too are have positive results with it as well too.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, and I have a question. You said, did you mention 870 hours total?
800.75 hours
Oh,
total.
okay. Oh, yeah, 800. How many employees?
We have 32 staff members.
Yeah, but how many are on this
Taking the
online
course.
program?
All of them.
Oh, all of them?
All of them have access to it,
Oh,
including
okay.
our maintenance and medical. And we've also had our mental health person that's also there as well too, because there's a lot of, the program itself updates with new laws as they come along and everything else. So anything that's new for medical, mental health, they have new data that they can be looking at and taking courses. So we're able to customize it to departments of what they need, and our staff what they need, and supervisors what they need. We're still in the beginning stage of learning how to use the program altogether, and customizing per person, and allowing staff to take further courses if they want to become supervisors and those kinds of things. So there's a lot to this program.
But so everyone is participating?
Yeah.
That was my question, okay.
Go ahead.
Population report, we have 4 electronic monitoring, 1 that's on work release, we have 6 transfers, and a total population of 53. We did have 1 return from electronic monitoring yesterday for a violation. That happens. I went out and checked on the farm. The fenders are doing a great job, especially with the heat, doing the hay and stuff. They're getting plenty of water. The farm's doing a great job. We've been sending the female workers, they've been going over to working on the garden, and I went and checked with the farm, and they said they're doing an outstanding job. So we got 2 crews going on. They can eat lunch together, we try to keep them separate, so they're doing well.
Go ahead.
I just want to follow up, if you've taken the time to go out and look at the garden, these 2 women, I don't know, they must be from the Southwest farm workers, because they're out in that hot, hot day, in the sun, and they have done just a remarkable job. The think it's beautiful.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
Relate that to them, would you?
Yes. And as Bob Murray said, we did send a couple of offenders over today to help out, actually, as Howie said, and through Bob, they sent a couple of workers over today from our place to help with those forms and everything else, a special project today, so we've got some offenders over there. Will send some of his guys over today to go work on that, so they've been all working together to try to get where we can put the offenders as needed on different projects. Last week, Captain Batchelder and I went to the Chiefs of Police meeting.
Good.
It was a good meeting, lots of questions, how we can maybe improve some of our service working with them, and just keeping the open lines of communication between us and the local Chiefs of Police as well.
Great idea. Go ahead.
Am I out of order if I ask Superintendent Henry what some of the questions from the police chiefs were? What we can do to improve?
Some is just mystery. Corrections and law enforcement in general are just a mystery to each other. I've been fortunate to be on both sides, so I'm able to help them bridge the gap. Them understanding how, why we can take offenders when we can't, doing some of the RSAs, and when we have to have somebody cleared, not cleared. It was those kind of questions, leaving some of their concerns about why we can and can't. It was that was kind of the dialogues, and how I can, when they run into issues, how I can, they can call me so we can work through it and find out what the issue was. So it's just opening those communication lines. It was nothing.
So it wasn't like we had a couple of years ago, problems with them taking an arrested person in, or procedure problems, basically.
No, a lot of questions, and there's been work back and forth between the chiefs of police and also the prosecutors meetings. We've been going to prosecutor meetings as well too. Sergeant Phillips went to the last one. So we're trying to get him to go to that, and the chiefs of police. It's just about communication and understanding both sides and seeing their perspective and our perspective, what we can and can't do together. So it wasn't bad. The sheriff was very helpful, and Deputy Sheriff Young was very helpful, asking a lot of questions that probably were there in the past, so I could present them to him. I put together a packet with my card, where I stand, philosophies, who I am, and where I can be helpful for the future. So
Good.
it seemed to go well.
Does the chiefs, do they get any training on House of Corrections?
Well, I've seen probably very limited, besides some paperwork back and forth. That's why it's good to go to these meetings, so they can, we bring the paperwork so I understand it. The prosecuting meetings has also been very good, because they're getting our paperwork and bringing it back to their departments, so they have an understanding of it. But yeah, working in these type of groups is getting better. It's understanding.
Okay, go.
A couple positive notes. We have a new staff member starting today at the jail, which is good. Just a positive note, one of our staff members is ecstatic. His daughter's trying out for American Idol today. I just
Oh, really?
throw that out there. So he's been nervous all day. I have a superintendent's meeting this Friday. I also want to let the board know that the superintendents have been very supportive and continue to give me advice as needed and direction, so they've been a very good peer group for me.
And they're also going to hold it here, right?
Correct. We are holding it here.
Will that affect us in any other manner?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't need to use this room?
Nope. Doing very well with it. Our
In
facility.
your room over there?
Yep.
Okay.
And nursing home's been helping out with some food and stuff, so it's been very good. Everybody's been very cooperative and helpful. On Monday, we're switching the offender phones over to Securus from a current provider. Securus is the contract we signed earlier this year. The first stage is switching the offender phones over, and then the second stage is getting that jail management system, which is being worked on. It's a lengthy process. Getting a new server that John Rich is working on, and should be next couple of weeks. The server, and then once that's done, the transition process from the old system to new system takes a lot of some time. Data entry back and forth. We're going to you have to make a test site. There's a lot of work involved with it. Belknap County just went through it with the exact same company that we have and that we're going to. So, with been able to talk to them, some of their growing pains with it.
Okay. So you have the new server already?
No,
correct?
Not
You
yet.
don't?
Nope, not yet. He's got the pieces put together. A lot of the pieces already there, and I'm not sure what all he has, but I know he told me in the next couple of weeks because the XGL is not coming in for another few more months anyway, so
Okay.
we're fine. We're well ahead of schedule. Had the server come in, it'll be good to go.
Do you recall the server that we approved, was that going into the nursing home?
Yes.
And then we talked about getting a second one at a reduced rate?
No, I'm incorrect. The first one was going into the sheriff's department, and we voted to accept the bid,
Right.
and he went downstairs and called up the company and told them that they'd won the bid. And within hours, somebody came down and said, well, the jail needs the same server, so now we're buying two. We have not appropriated the money for the second one yet.
Okay. Go ahead, continue, sorry.
It's okay. The RFP for the roof was due by the 27th. Did you have anything sent to you? Did you see anything yet? The only thing I have, and this is from Joe Maintenance, they said they're going to resubmit this exact same thing. I can give you that quote for the roof.
It's due when?
It was due 27th of June.
Oh.
I know.
Before I read this, excuse me, Jason, before I read it, this isn't a bid.
No, that's the only thing I have.
Get accused.
Yeah. No, not bid. That's the only thing I have for that was that they're the only company came and walked the roof and told Joe that's what they would do, but it's not necessarily a bid. I don't have a bid from anybody, but I just want to give you an idea of what they were saying. And I will look around and make sure nothing else is in the mail, but I haven't found anything, so.
I just read the first line, and there is a price in there, so I don't want to read any more of it.
Okay. So I'm not sure how I want to handle that, if we need to put it back out again, or what we need to do. But,
Well, we only got one bid, right?
no, it's not actually a bid, it's just, when they came and walked the roof, told,
We haven't gotten any bid then.
not a real bid, I don't,
Has anybody looked at it, do you know?
they walked the roof one time, A+ Roofing, I know came out with somebody, but I haven't seen anything. I can follow up with them to see if they put it in the mail, make sure it wasn't lost. And I can follow up with them because they did this too, and make sure that there was a bid.
Okay, if we haven't received anything on the 27th.
But the problem, it was also labeled to the previous, supposed to be sent to the previous superintendent or the jail. I'm looking through mail, I haven't seen anything, but if I reach out, make sure that they didn't, I just want to make sure that.
Okay, then we'll put it out for bid again.
If I have to, yeah. Okay. For now. Last week, or last commissioners meeting, I gave you a contract for the Northeast LLC main agreement for our emergency equipment generator. I put it in your packet. Did you?
We approved that, I thought.
I wasn't here, so I just wondering. I haven't seen it come back, that's all.
It's maybe on a desk. Did they put it on a desk?
It was this one I had in your packet last time. That's another copy of it, so.
I don't know if we
Last-
officially approved that. I
last
think
week
we
we
ought
had
to
no meeting.
make a
No, it was the
motion.
week before.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the last
Okay.
commissioners meeting.
So they probably put it on my desk, I guess.
It was I put it in Commissioner Sorensen's.
Well, I had it because I called up 2 or 3 diesel places to see what the way to go was, and every one of them said, stay where you are.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract for $1,879.11.
So you read the whole contract? Because you
I
make a
have
motion
read
to
it.
approve
Yep.
This is for an emergency services generator?
Can I just see
Yep.
that?
I'll second it.
They've done the work before.
Yes, and they're only going up $80 from
$81
and change
something.
from their
What's the name of the
last
company,
quote.
Commissioner Kenney?
It's Northeast. Is this a renewal, what we have in here? That's a renewal?
It's renewal, we were already using them. They're basically just going up $81 and change. It's
And
renewal.
this is a yearly contract? It's a yearly renewal?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
I'm sorry, what are they actually providing you?
Uh,
Is it service on the generators?
Maintenance and
Maintenance.
service on the generator.
Yeah, on emergency equipment, yeah.
So $81.
I make a motion that we do this, and you second
You already
it?
made it, and I seconded it. Let's vote.
Any further discussion?
I'm almost done looking through.
Commissioner Kenney, we got this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we've had this before.
Yeah, but we didn't get it at a meeting, so.
Yes, we got it at a meeting.
Did we? Oh, okay.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay.
Yeah, I looked through
Aye,
it.
you in support of it?
Yeah, I looked through it.
Okay,
Good.
then I'll sign it.
Thank you, sir. I'll check on,
You all set?
yeah, and I'll check on this, the RFP stuff, and do some more digging around and get back to you
Okay.
guys.
Anybody got any further questions of the?
Yes. Again, Jay, here are some medical bills.
I'll take them.
We need, the checks have been cut.
I am still working through that. Huggins Hospital, I've contacted them, they're doing a list. I guess they do it by month. Those hospitals I need to call and verify those as well, so.
Okay.
Hope if you can hold on this, I'm working through it.
Anything else?
No?
Captain, you got anything to add?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
I have a
You have a
question.
question?
Did the jail have new digital pagings? Do you have new pagers? Was it the jail pagers?
New digital pagers?
I think from digital paging company.
Not
I
new
saw
ones.
a bill from $681.50.
New, we have pagers. We've had 2 pagers since even before I started there. So not new ones, no, but they.
So
we do
this
have.
is not from the jail then? Okay.
Well, we have a couple, but I want to make sure if that's our bill or whatever, or what it is. But we do have some pagers, but they've been there for a while. So
So do you know what his bill is for? Pagers, $681.
is it to me, to the jail, or is it to?
I believe it was the jail, yeah. If
Yeah.
you
Did he-
said you don't.
Were there initials on it?
Oh,
All vouchers that
Don't
come in
remember.
before we cut a check needs to have the supervisor's
Yeah.
initials on it for approval.
Yeah.
Okay?
I will check on it again and give.
Thank you.
Just,
Yeah.
I will stop by.
That's fine.
It was renewal for the year for the pagers.
Okay. Was it signed off by?
By who then?
I signed one of them.
Yeah, but did you sign it out? Did you check it out? Did you read it? What
When did it
was?
come in?
Yeah, it was,
I
I
know
believe it
it
was in the
was-
pile I had this week.
Oh, it
It
could be.
was last Monday, I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if it's my signature on it, then yes. But if you got a copy of it, I mean,
I
that we
will
can look at
check.
it, that'd be great.
I will look
Appreciate
at
it.
it again, yeah.
Any further questions? If not, I'm glad to hear that the other superintendents are willing to help you out.
Oh, yeah, I had a
Any
question.
questions that you have. We support you 100%. Just keep us informed as to what's going on. Call us anytime. Commissioner Babson is responsible for the jail, so contact him first, okay?
And Mr.
You got a
Babson,
question?
the
Yeah,
14th.
they're not that lucky that I'm responsible for jail. I'm the liaison with the
The
jail.
14th, I'm good with you.
That was one of my questions.
Yep, I'm good.
And what about Mr. Phillips?
If you want me to, I can ask him. So,
Well, that's your call.
all right. Well, let's go to the first one together and see how it goes, and then
Okay.
go from there.
The other thing is, the new law, it allows you to petition the court to release offenders. Have you released many? Have you requested any?
Vernon, what's going on in the paper right now? The superintendent has authority to release people. We don't have really a day reporting. We have an agreement with the court, the last 30 days, if they're doing well and they've served most of their time, and the last 30 days we do put them on home confinement if everything's all set and in place. And that is with the court's knowledge as well, too. But that's what you're talking about. No, I
No,
don't.
but with the new law, you have the opportunity to let them out yourself.
Correct, that law's been there,
With
yep. It just,
And I know J1 had allowed a couple out, have
Yep.
you?
yes, and we have a couple on, well, some ones are home confinement, the electronic monitoring, that is being let out. We may have another one coming up that might be able to, electronic monitoring too for the last 30 days, starting August 1st. All goes well this month.
I called the Superior Court head justice yesterday and got her secretary, and I'm setting up a meeting with her to discuss what can be done with habitual offenders. I know the Citrus Crew's got 2 new ones out here. They're both habitual offenders. They mandatory 1-year sentence. They're not violent. Costing us $120 a day or somewhere around there. Seems to me that this state ought to have some kind of a probationary license that allows you to drive to work at 8, come home at 4, and that's it. But we need the court to support that before we start anything, so that's where I'm going first. And it's just a shame to have them out here. And yes, they're offenders, and yes, they've broken the law, and at some point they've got to pay the price, but I think one of the problems is some of them have had offenses that go back. It's been 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 years since they've had one, but they're still, and they can never, seems like they never get their license back, even if they turn the corner and want to realize it. So we'll see where that goes.
Okay, anything else?
Not this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall we hear from the sheriff next? I'm trying to put his deputies out of work by taking away the speeders and the bad lights.
No.
That one over dead.
Sheriff, you're in for non-public, right? And Lynette, you're in for non-public also. Do either of you have anything for public?
I don't, but if you...
You don't?
We're gonna have our work session first.
All right, then
Public
we better have our work session first, which may not take too long. Lynette hasn't seen this. She normally puts our policies together. I drafted up a couple of things to look at. One is on attendance at conferences and training programs. And the approval would be given by the supervisor, the department head, or the commissioners. The event must be job-related, must attend a minimum of 80% of the event or the workshops. A written report upon completion given to the supervisor or within 1 week of returning to work. Number 5, mileage, banquet room, and registration reimbursed 100%. Anyone receiving a special award, reimbursement approval would be given by the commissioners. Strictly a draft, just something to think about. We'll give it to Lynette and she can put it together, but if there's anything that's on your mind right now that should be added or deleted that you don't feel comfortable with, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you for doing this, David, because I think what's happened over the past month or so makes it pretty evident that unfortunately, we need one of these, some kind of a policy. The only thing that I would, right off the bat, I already made the one suggestion earlier, that they be reimbursed 100%. The written report, I think, ought to be something, an approved written report upon completion. Somebody can come back and write one sentence and claim I wrote a report. And, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them to go to class and pay attention and learn something and come back and report on it. That one sentence that says that I went to a conference on how to do something, and that would be my only. And I think it's excellent. Thank you.
You have anything right off the top of your head?
Yes.
No?
Guys, like I said earlier, we need to have a policy.
Okay, we'll give that to Lynette and maybe we can take some action on it next week. The other thing I have here is an approved request for vacation time. And it would be just a form. You'd have your name, the department head, or the department that you work for, the date that you request the vacation for, what vacation time you have available, what time you're going to be taking, how many days you're going to be taking on this vacation. So what you have is a balance. And then it's approved by, again, a supervisor or a commissioner, and the date that it was approved. I would assume that we could do this within a week of the vacation time requested. I also put down the bottom, in case of an emergency at this location or at work, how can we get in contact with them? Now, they may be able to put that in, they may not, but I put that in there in case something comes up that is an emergency, that we need to talk with them. It might be a good idea to have a phone number or whatever. So, any comments on that one?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Is that form that you're proposing for employees versus supervisors? I think we
Both.
need to have. I think we need to have something that covers everybody. I don't think that. I think a supervisor ought to be giving us. They may not have to pin it down because of their workload, but they could certainly say, in March, I'm planning to take 2 weeks off in June, or some such thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because we shouldn't have, if we are busy with audits, we're doing audits, that we have, and the auditor asking for all kinds of information, financial information, and then suddenly we have someone going on vacation. Or the nursing home, if we have inspection there, they need to be available, and suddenly someone go on vacation.
Otherwise, nobody has any, off the top of their head, ideas or changes or additions?
I just want to add also, if they fly out, the employees, maybe somebody can look where to fly or what is the cheapest flight. The airfare.
Well,
They
if
can check
they're
out.
on vacation, well, how they get there by
No.
air is their problem.
No,
Well,
if
that's
they
what that
go
form
in.
is.
Oh, okay. I was talking business related. If they have to go for here, the county.
You're talking about a conference or
The
a training
county,
Yeah.
program?
if they going by airplane, if we, maybe they have to look also what is the cheapest airfare.
Well, we already discussed that, did we not?
Yes, we did.
Well, you discuss actually the parking, didn't you do that? That you better
It was
take the
regards
bus
to if you're
from.
flying out of Boston, you
Yeah.
take the $40
Yes.
or the $50, I guess it is
Yep.
now,
That's, I think, what you discussed.
bus trip.
Yes, we need to have that.
Okay, you got anything else under what?
Yes. I gave each of you a letter, a copy of the email correspondence with Representative McConkey. I took it upon myself, because I was the one that spoke up at the commissioners' meeting, to let him know what we had done on cash policies. As you can see here, I got a response. I got a response from Mr. McConkey, and I got Representative McConkey, and I got a response from Representative Cardelli. I'm sorry he left. I would say that neither one of them provided 1 ounce of productive comment on this. I won't start off how this thing reads, but it was my impression that I would provide them. I didn't realize that I was going to be the gopher and had to go get the stuff and hand it to them. I was under the impression that I was going to give them the information where they were, because we had those people come in and give us their cash handling policies. I think we were a little somewhat negligent in that I expected these folks, after they gave it to us, to put them down in writing. They're using the policies, but they weren't, 2 of them weren't in writing at the time. That got corrected.
Well,
And that's where it stands. As far as I'm concerned, this is a delegation project, not ours. That we can point them in the right direction where the information is, and I'm not going to chase it for them.
I have a question regarding one of the comments. Commissioners asked all departments, it is our understanding that the commissioners asked all departments to develop, but we were only informed that one department had developed. That crazy writing, but if I recall, we had one from the sheriff's department.
We had one in writing from the sheriff's department. We had one in writing from
Dietary.
From Dietary. Kathy came up here and gave us a verbal understanding of what her process was in handling. She doesn't handle it, and I don't know whether Representative McConkey meant cash or checks or both. So I wrote back and I said that she doesn't handle much cash, and she has a procedure for, and that's the same with Will. He goes through the stuff from the bond when he gets cash for hay and for wood. He goes through a process. Both of those have now have put down in writing what they. So they were all here. I don't know who Matrix asked. I don't remember them asking me, but I could have told them then that we either were presented with or had in writing from the 4 major departments that handle cash.
Okay, anything else on the work session?
Yes.
Can I just add something what Commissioner Babson was talking about? The county never had those policies and had cash policies, but when an employee took $11,000, we took action. That is where we discussed those policies.
Okay, you got something else?
Yeah. I was signing the checks, Commissioner Kenney. You didn't sign a mileage check for a nurse that went to a supervisory convention. Can you tell me why?
Correct. Did you see my note?
Yeah, it said supervision question mark.
Yeah, I have to ask Howie. I didn't know precisely what conference it was. It was all the way in Franconia. What kinds of supervising training? I just want to know if it is the same. I believe they gave this also in Concord.
Yes.
And there was also supervisory training in Rochester. I just want to know if it is the same. Why would we have to go all the way to Franconia for this training? I just don't understand that.
Well,
So I was going to ask Howie if it was the same training. I don't know what kind of training it was. There was no any detailed in, no specification, just training and the amount and from where the person traveled to Franconia. So I needed some more information.
that is, you are absolutely correct. It just had the mileage. I don't know why, while you were signing the checks, that you didn't call Howie up, because I went through that whole exercise yesterday trying to find out. It was up in Franconia. It was a nurse supervising convention put on by Primex. I had the same question. I didn't know they did it in Rochester, but I did know they did it in Concord. We had some discussion about the mileage, and
I know it's done in different places. They set it up. Concord, Rochester was one.
and I didn't. Well, I wanted to make sure that there was some reason that the individual couldn't get to the other two, and maybe she had to go for certification or some other reason. Maybe she had to attend the one in Franconia,
I don't
but
know.
it's certainly a long drive. Thank you.
Is Franconia longer than Rochester? Oh, from here it probably is.
I can get to Rochester in 30 minutes. I can get to Franconia in about an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah. Gotta go, it's an hour to Plymouth. Then you gotta drive all the way up to Franconia.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the work?
No,
session?
that's fine. That answers that question.
Okay.
Thank you, Ash.
Then we have 2 items left, both non-public. So we'll go into public input from anybody. Damon, you had a question before.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you're gonna talk about the letter that you're gonna send to Mason and Rich, but my understanding is you're waiting on Mr.
Bulio, yeah.
Bulio to give you some more information, and then you're gonna send it. Now, that's separate from what McConkey and Treasurer were working on, right?
No,
No,
this is, the treasurer actually wrote this up. The treasurer said, we need to find out what is the final questions that Bulio has regarding the 2010 financials. What is the final one? I mean, you can keep adding and adding and adding. We want to know what the final, what are the hot spots that need to be corrected. As soon as we get that, we send that along with the letter that I signed Monday afternoon. I was hoping that it would go out Tuesday morning if Bulio had gotten the information back to us, but he hasn't yet.
Okay, so they're not gonna get two letters asking, Mason and Rich aren't getting two letters, they're gonna get one
One letter signed by me.
One letter signed by you with the questions from Bulio.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I talked to Mason, I took it upon myself to call Mason and Rich and see what they said, and basically the gist of it was they're gonna look into it when they get your letter. You know, they said it'd be an undertaking to go back and, you know, try to figure it out from 2010, but it sounded like they were going to at least look into it.
Good, okay. Anything further? Anything else?
And just, I want to make sure I understand this. So, Bulio and company is going to do the 2010 audit, but they first need to do the, they need to
Make sure the financials are
financial
correct.
statements are fine, but then they're
Adjusted.
also interested in doing the audits and financial statements, or no, just the audits from 2010 to
11, 12, 13.
2013.
Correct.
And then they're gonna do the financial statements too. Those are already done by Mason and Radford. We have the financial statements for those years.
We have the financial statements for 2010 and 11, I believe.
Okay, and then we need to do.
From Mason Rich?
Yeah,
No.
no?
Radford.
Mason Rich gave it up, I believe, in 2010. We're working on, Mason and Rich's figures are of 2009, I believe, are the ones that are in question, so we can start and do 2010.
So we gotta go all the way back to 9?
No, just as a starting point.
But,
I can answer that for you. 2010 is done by Mason and Rich. They have to make some corrections.
Yep.
And Bulio is doing the audit.
They're doing the audit. I got the contract right here.
2011 is done by John Lyford. John Lyford got retired by Mason and Rich. He was on his own, and he did it on his own. He did the financial statements in 11. He did also the financial statements in 2012. But because we had to wait too long to get the information from 11, Bulio did also the financial statements of 12, the financial statements of 13. So now they're doing the audits from 10, 11, 12, and 13.
we contracted for that already?
Yes, I've got them right here.
And
You
signed?
can look at them if you like.
Signed?
Um,
Or are they pending?
No,
The only
he's-
one that's pending is the financial for 2010, I believe.
No, he's doing the work, and he already got paid $61,000.
The audit.
So,
It's all confusing, okay? 2010 audit has been signed for Bulio to do the audit for 2010. They've got to get the corrections or the adjustments made before, in the financials, before he'll do that. That's what the letter is all about, okay?
Okay.
December 2011, let me make sure it's signed. It's been signed and approved that they do the audit for the financial statements for 2011,
Okay.
all signed. We will audit the financial statements for 2012. Signed. For 2013, we will prepare a draft of the financial statements and that's been signed for 2013,
Okay.
okay? What has not been signed to prepare a draft of financial statements for 2010. We're hoping that Mason and Rich is going to make the adjustments on that one. So that one has not been signed.
And just, and when we say financial statements, what we're talking about is, I think, something called an MS 45. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, but there's a lot of work that goes into the financial statements. And there was some corrections that need to be made for 2010 for them to do the audit, okay?
And just talking to the other counties, their offices are doing the financial statements and they only hire the audit company to do the audits.
As Commissioner Chandler mentioned,
Commissioner Chandler?
Representative, boy, I'm getting bad now. Representative Chandler stated that financials can be done by anybody. And Ash is right. We could do it here in the office. The audit has to be done by a firm to make sure that financials are correct. Okay? We do not have the personnel to do the financials. I think Commissioner Kenney will also say that these other counties that do the financials have people that do that. Okay? All right. Yes.
Well, no, you have also two people working in the finance, or 3 people. They don't have a whole crew that do it. I mean, that is just part of the job and a job description.
But they have somebody that does that work, right?
Did we ever look at what a job description here is? Maybe we should check it out. I
Okay.
mean, most of all of the counties are doing that. It's just part of their job.
Go ahead,
In the
Melissa.
preparations.
And if I'm not mistaken, the MS 45 has to be submitted to the Department of Revenue, and it's the responsibility of the clerk to do it, to submit it, so.
That's correct.
That could be an option, the clerk can do it.
I have
I
to
didn't
submit
hear-
the form, yeah.
Wait a minute.
I didn't hear you mention that you had a contract with Bulio for the 2013 audit.
What did I just say?
I
That was the next to last thing you said.
No, I was
We have a
checking off
contract.
what we said on Monday comparing to what you're saying now, and the only piece I didn't hear.
We have a contract for Bulio to prepare the draft financial statements for 2013.
But not the audit. That was what I was.
You're talking about the audit, you're right.
So I think
We do not.
might also be missing that as well, looking ahead. But I mean, first you have to.
We may, if Bulio and company doesn't come up with what we agreed to, we may change and put it out for bid and get another auditor company.
How do you mean if they don't do what you want?
Well, they're putting this off. They know what's missing in the 2010 financials. We haven't been able to get that.
It sounds.
As soon as we get that, we'll send it to Mason and Rich.
Right.
So if they keep putting us off, why should we stay with that company?
When I listened to Mr. Bulio's comments at the last commissioners meeting,
Yeah?
he had indicated that perhaps the commission had been putting him off by not responding to the list in the first place that he had issued 3 weeks prior. Was he correct in that he sent that original message 3 weeks prior to coming here?
He could be correct.
Okay.
My understanding is we sent him or his company a lot of documents that he requested.
Right.
He kept saying that he didn't get them. Some of them. I don't know which ones. I didn't send them. Kathy Gary did. And she sent them again. So whether it's something wrong with his receiving the documents, I don't know. She said told me she sent a 42-page document to him that he didn't get. So I had to send it again. So there's a problem between, in the past, when they came to do the financials and the audit, they came here, they spent 2 weeks here in our facility, in a conference room, asking for this information, and it was given to them, and they completed it. this outfit does all their work in their office over in Portland, so they request this stuff, we have to send it to them. It's extra work for our people to do. And then miscommunications or whatever happens, they don't get the information.
I wonder if that highlights a deficit in our technology, because if they were to bring teams here day after day, they would surely charge you that travel expense. And it's obviously costing by having the business office have to resend this information. So maybe if we look at better technology, are we using all the modules available in our financial software? And is this where electronic file storage could be at its best?
Could be.
Where we're just sending or giving access and
Yep.
sending it right off with the push of a button, documents already scanned into the system instead of, no one faxes that much anymore, I
Yeah.
think.
I think in the past, our audits or financials was about $18,000. He's charging us $15,000 per year. But
And once the audits are finished, is he on, or will you have a firm on any sort of, I don't know if it's a retainer, so that as you move through the year, perhaps by quarter, we're doing checkups on how we're doing, rather than waiting until the end of the year? One of the things that concerned me that Julio said was, we're putting garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. I have big concerns. How much garbage are we putting into the system and why? And how can we better monitor that rather than waiting until the end of the year or 3 years later?
okay,
So,
to help answer your question, when we had Mason and Rich, the ladies in our office have told me that when they have a problem, they don't know what to do with whatever, they call Mason and Rich, and Mason and Rich tells them where to put it. So we've had that understanding with Mason and Rich. We do not have any kind of a contingency or a,
Don't have that working relationship.
we don't have that working relationship with Bulio.
not yet.
They're new.
Right. So that would have to be a separate contract or separate agreement that
Yeah.
you would agree to provide support services or,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah, can I just comment on what you were saying? You said we have now a new company, Beaulieu, and we have to send everything. That is general practice. Every audit company, you have to send first all the information, and then they're coming physically here for a few days and look at what we have here and maybe ask for some more information. You said Mason and Rich was coming here for 2 weeks, and it was probably easier, and they were doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we are in a big mess, correct?
Say
And
what? What's the
that's
last
why we
question?
are now in a big mess,
I wouldn't say
because
so.
things are not accurate done. And if Beaulieu is right, we have a lot of corrections to make. I'm afraid that for all these years, things has been done wrong, because 2009 is done. It is, they even audited. And I think there are still mistakes therein. So I think for all these years, we have these inaccuracies.
Well, that's your statement, that's not my
Oh,
statement.
yeah, that's
Um,
mine.
I am not going to find any fault with anybody until the final report is done. Then I'll make a comment as to what we should have done or may have done, whether they're correct or wrong. When it gets all straightened out, then I'll make a comment. Go ahead.
I'll make a comment. First of all, I just would like it known that I was not here for any of these, I was not on this board for any of these years that's a problem. In fact, while we were working on the 2013, it was then I discovered that just by pure accident, that Mr. Life had informed me that there hadn't been any financials. The only thing I feel that I did wrong, which I learned from, was in the next contract, we'll put a statement in there that the auditor will come here at some point, and that was a learning experience.
Yep. I think everything goes back to 2010, when we got the bond for the new nursing home. That was something new. Even though we had an $8 million bond for the new jail, which was done 8 or 10 years ago, The 23 million that we had for the bond, I think messed up everything, because we got a lot of interest, tune of 600,000. They put it in all in 1 year, should have been put over 20 years. They're all started, I think, then. It should be easy to go once the corrections are made to the 2010 financials. Okay.
Yeah, and another thing, and who decided to go with John Lyford? John Lyford is retired from Mason and Ridge, and he's been still doing the financials
I don't know
of
if
11 and 12.
You
So-
were here for that, so was David.
So who,
You two did.
Yep.
I was under the impression, when I was told, that the company was still doing it, Mason and Ridge.
Well,
that
I was too.
I was told Mason and Ridge was doing it. I had no idea that somebody was retired and was doing it probably from their home. I mean, we don't do that. And there were, if you look at last Monday, there was a sheet. There's money encumbered from all these years.
What's what?
Money encumbered from all these years. There was like a sheet that every year money was encumbered from the
Encumbered,
audits.
okay.
Yeah, so no audits done. So the office know then that there were no audits done, because all the money went over year after year.
Right.
Okay, so it was well known that it was not done.
Okay. Well, we should have picked it up too. You and
Yes,
I. You
that-
and I.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, and I get so difficult information.
Okay.
And I know it was not done. That's why I've been asking for 2010, and I hear it was done. And I never believe it was done. I did some research.
Okay.
And then I called Boulier and I said, I know that 2010 is not done, and look into it.
We're going to move
And he
into non-public.
Public comment.
You're gonna have public input, David.
All right, but public input is almost over. We'll let you go with one question.
Well,
Go
I got
ahead,
a
Mr.
couple,
Brown.
actually. Mr. Babson, Commissioner Babson's statement that he wasn't here for any of those years. You were here last year, correct, Commissioner Babson?
That's
There's
absolutely,
been no financial statements or audits done for FY13.
that's
The
exactly,
treasurer stated on Monday that the 2010 audit was already completed. To the comment of the garbage in, garbage out, I was here when Mr. Bellew was here, and it was perfectly clear that he was stating that he's definitely, he or his company are definitely having problems getting the correct information from the county. That was perfectly clear.
Okay.
And then my other, the Board of Commissioners voted and approved to expend the people's tax dollars in handing out loans throughout the county. How can the taxpayers be assured that their tax dollars are being returned from those loans? Especially now, you could probably say that there may be a few of those people who no longer work for the county.
ask him who the loans are, I don't know.
Yeah,
the
what loans are you
How
talking
much are
about?
they?
They were given out to various people throughout the county.
Who?
Who? What
And
kind
how
of,
much?
what
And
kind of
for?
loans? What kind of loans have been given out to the people in the county?
It's on video, I believe.
I don't believe so.
I don't
Oh,
believe
know
so.
it is.
Well, then fine, you should have
Find
no
it.
problem providing us with the information.
Yeah, I could give it to you right
Well,
now.
would you please, go ahead.
But I don't know if I should be mentioning someone's specific name in a public meeting.
So don't
that's a good
mention any
excuse.
name then.
Well,
So,
I'll
thing
give
is
Mr.
that-
Brown credit for that. Why don't we put him down for a non-public session next week and he can come in and name them?
Yeah, let's do
How much
that.
and what for?
We'll put you on non-public next meeting, so you can come in with those names of county people that have received loans or that have given us loans,
no,
In fact, if
the
he knows
county
now, why
has
can't we
given
know
out
now?
loans.
have given
Using
out,
the people's tax dollars to give out loans.
to give out loans.
Mhm.
Why don't we, put, there's nothing that restricts us from, we have to have a post a meeting, that we don't have to post the agenda. Why don't we put them on today's agenda and he can tell us right now who they are?
I don't think he's got that information.
He said he did. He said he
Oh,
can
you-
give it to us right now.
You can give it to us right now?
That's what
I've
he
got,
said.
I've got the name and I believe the amount of at least one person off the top of my
You
head.
said you had a whole bunch.
Now we're talking about one loan or many
Oh,
loans?
wait a minute. Okay, you wanna talk, shall I just talk one loan with the DRA? Because I don't believe that you can legally give out tax dollars as loans.
I can tell you, legally, I haven't voted for that in my term, so why don't we put him on the non-public and have him come in this morning and tell us all of the ones that he knows about, who they are and how much.
Okay,
We'll end this right now.
agreeable? Agreeable?
Yeah, like I said, I get one
Okay,
with, you know, the name of one person and the amount off the top of my head.
okay,
Well, you
But I
started
can go
off
back
with a
and
few,
find
Mr. Brown, and
there
now we're
are
down to
more.
one.
There are more. And if
Okay.
you like Commissioner Babson, like I said, when I leave here, I'll call the DRA and see what they have to say about it.
When you
'Cause
come
I
back,
don't-
we'll
I
have you
don't
back
believe
next
it's
week, and you
legal.
can give us the rest of the
I
names.
don't believe it's legal.
we're gonna go into non-public.
Just want to.
Under non-public, Dominic, well, let's go to Annette since she's here right now. I will move that we go into non-public under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2, A and C. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
So we're going into non-public for both or
We're going
only
in.
for Winnet, or is the
Did you hear them?
party coming too?
Did you hear the motion?
You said Winnet.
Annette, that's what we're going into non-public for.
But
All
why?
those in support of the motion say aye.
All right,
Aye. All those opposed, nay.
we have to have a roll call. vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep it
Commissioner
right.
Kenney?
Roll
Yes.
call.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes,
Commissioner Babson?
Yep.
then so voted.
You need to state on its face why you're going into
He
non-public.
did, he said A and C.
He just
A and C.
You read from the agenda.
Paragraph 2, A and C, he said that. Yeah.
Okay, the commissioners are back in public. In our first session, we sealed everything in that first section with the exception of hiring an administrative,
Temporary.
a temporary
Administrative.
administrative assistant at the jail. Our second non-public session
It was a non-meeting.
was a non-meeting with an attorney. Our third session was with the sheriff, and we are not sealing those minutes.
Fourth one for the record was supposed to be Mr. Brown, and he's not here.
Yeah, let the minutes show that we were gonna have a fourth session with Mr. Brown. We'll hold that over for next week. Anything else we need to do regarding telling what happened?
We're done. You already announced the temporary administrative
Yeah.
assistant. And this is Hill's location, so this is signed, this goes to Kathy Gary,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Bring that to her.
The next item we need to look at, did you have a chance to look at this thing? It's just
I
a
didn't
naming.
read it because it
It's
is like
naming of
so many
a
pages.
mountain up between the moats. I have no problem with it.
They're going to rename it?
It doesn't have a name. They're gonna
Oh,
name
a
it,
name, okay.
was it Washburn or?
It said, the
Washburn
board has
Peak.
received a proposal to make official a new commemorative name, Washburn Peak, for its summit to Carroll County. Oh, that's okay.
Okay, did you see that?
No, I did not.
Well, it's got a map and everything else, and we need to fill out that. The next item, and I hope you got a copy of it, you've got a copy there.
What is it?
A tentative agreement with the Mountain View Nursing Home.
Okay, can I read it?
Go ahead.
It's fine.
What's that?
That's fine.
I hear a motion that we do not object to the United States Board on Geographic Names.
Once you make it, you're doing fine.
We have no objection to the proposed name of Washburn Peak. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll fill it out and get it sent in. All right, let's look at tentative agreement with the union at the Mountain View community. Number one, do we have a problem with Article 1.1? The current hybrid position of the bus
These
driver?
are all the suggestions we went back to the claw with.
Okay. Do you want to approve these as presented?
Can I read it quick? I'm almost
Okay.
finished.
I have a problem with number 5. The first sentence. Yeah. No bargaining unit member will be permitted to remain on the clock while conducting union business unless the county specifically approves beforehand.
We had quite a long discussion about that. They
Okay.
were coming in and punching in and then going to the union meetings,
Right.
and so we were paying them to do their union business.
On our,
Why do you
Time.
object to that?
I don't think we should pay them on our time.
Well, that's what it says, you don't.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what you said, you have a problem with it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just for
It's
the
a-
officers meetings.
It's a second,
when that's-
it's a second one. Union officers are on the clock in a regularly scheduled shift during the union's monthly officers' meeting to participate in that meeting for no more than 1 hour.
We agreed to that.
You agreed to that, okay. Do we have any problems with any of this?
No.
And it looks that its wages is 40 cents per hour, which is in agreement to what we've done with everyone else. And it's a 1-year agreement from April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015, which means that the wages will be retroactive back to April.
Right.
Do I hear a motion to
I'll
accept
make
it?
a motion, we accept the, now, are we accepting the contract or are we accepting the 10 changes?
There's no change in the contract. All we are agreeing to is accepting the tentative agreement to be changed in the contract. This is what we're voting on right here. Any of these changes would go into the present contract.
I'll make a motion that we accept the changes to the tentative agreement of May 23rd with the AFSCME Local 3685 Mountain View Nursing Home as proposed today, June, whatever.
Do I hear a second?
At July 9, yes, today, July 9.
July.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussions? All those in support of the motion to accept this tentative agreement with the Mountain View Nursing Home Union, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Now, the funding of it.
Okay. So voted.
Have you had any contact with the delegation about funding it?
Yes, I have. I've contacted, well, I was asked by Representative Umberger as to where the money is going to come from. The estimate is roughly $72,000. She didn't feel that it should come out of the taxpayers for 2014. I gave her 4 alternatives by email. One is not pay it. 2, find it in local taxes and have a supplemental budget. Or 3, take it out of surplus, which I don't believe she would like, or I shouldn't say she, is probably not something that's gonna pass because we don't have all the financials done. And the fourth one is that we received more money in pro-share for the nursing home from the state, more so than what we had budgeted for. That figure I don't have in front of me. It's something that Kathy Geary has, and we can figure out what that is. So that's the four options that I presented to her, even though she didn't ask for them. She just didn't want it to come out of taxpayers. Go ahead, Commissioner Babson.
My immediate reaction is it's the delegation's responsibility to set the budget. You've given them the four choices, the four reasonable choices. I don't know if there's any other. My inclination is to tell the delegation, well, you tell us how you want to handle this. This is your responsibility. I know it's a tough one for them because it's an election year and they don't want to have anybody say, oh, they raise the taxes. Well, it's their responsibility. Let them do it. We administer the budget.
Did I hear correctly from Tom Clausen that if they don't do a supplemental budget, let's see. No. From Tom Clausen, the union members agreed that there is a fifth one, now that I'm thinking about it. The union members agreed that it should not be taken out of the existing budget.
They did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
They wanted it to go to a supplemental budget. Because to find $72,000 in the nursing home budget, it's going to be kind of difficult to find.
Yes, it is. Leave it right up to the delegation to figure out where to get it.
Okay.
That's my, I'll make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that, that this board, what's the words I'm going to look for?
Well, what we need to do is pass this. We passed it. Now we send it to the delegation saying, this is what we agreed to. Now it's up to the delegation to fund it.
I make a motion that we send on the approval of a nursing home contract to the delegation to determine where the additional funding that is going to be needed, approximately $72,000, to float this one-year contract and leave the decision to the delegation.
I'll second it, but I would amend it to that the Board of Commissioners request a supplemental budget that the delegation hold a supplemental budget meeting. I think they're talking about August 11th.
Okay.
But somebody needs to request it, and I think it should come from this board.
Okay, that's fair enough, and we recommend that the delegation fund it from the results of a supplemental budget.
Okay, I'll second it. Any further discussion?
Would you read it back, please, Michelle, to make sure we got it right?
Okay, you move that the board forward the approval of the tentative contract to the delegation to determine the additional funding of $72,000 for the one-year contract with the recommendation that it be found in a supplemental budget.
And the commissioners recommend a supplemental budget. If we do.
That we request a supplemental budget meeting.
Oops. Oh.
And it's estimate of 72.
Yep.
Could be less.
My computer just...
Okay.
Don't you think we should have in there how the board voted on this, David? Maybe
Well,
actually doesn't want
she
it.
already, didn't she already,
Oh, boy.
All
put a
those,
photo?
all those in
It's already
support?
full.
No, we didn't. All those in support of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. That is unanimous.
We also got last week's minutes we have to do.
Yep.
You have last week, well, you have the week before plus Monday, and you have two non-publics to do.
Oh, we were in non-publics a few times, we could cut those.
I'm completely frozen here, wait a minute now.
I also wanna,
I didn't see Monday's minutes, where were they?
No, I didn't see
Well,
Mondays.
I-
I got Mondays, but I don't have,
Mondays was the short meeting.
yeah, for
Mondays was
Monday,
the, but I left copies for everybody down there.
Monday
did?
was on my
Yes.
desk, I guess.
Well, I don't have them. I
Get you.
have the
I'll get you.
7th isn't, oh, wait a minute. this-
Monday.
I have
Oh,
Monday,
okay.
yeah.
July
So you
7th.
all set now?
July,
Yes,
July
I am.
7, I got it.
All right, let's see what's
I see
left
what
of
I
my
did.
minutes here.
Anybody have any corrections to the July 7th meeting of the County Commissioners at 9 a.m.?
David, I'm sorry, I thought I was bringing up the ones for the minute, from the week before.
Which ones do you
And I
need?
brought these up and I haven't read them. I hate to admit it, but I haven't read all.
All
Here are
right,
the ones for the,
You got,
the
you got
25th?
time to read the 7th one. I want to go through and I want to make sure that we have signed agreements with Bulio according to what the minutes say,
okay.
okay? Okay, I have some corrections, and it's on the top of page 3.
No, I'm a slow reader.
So,
Oh, okay.
you're doing the minutes of
I have in front of me,
page 3, is that?
top of page 3, we are engaged in one, audit of 2010 financial statements prepared by Mason and Rich. I have that. Number 2.
Is it signed?
What?
Is it signed?
And it's signed.
Okay.
Is the audit, oh, the audit is signed, okay.
Audit of 200
Okay.
210 financial statements. Number 2, audit the 2011 financial statements prepared by John Lyford. I have that. Number 3 is the corrections. I do not have anything signed that Bulio is going to do the financial statements. All I have signed is that they will do the audit for 2012,
All right.
not 2013.
Nothing's been done for 2013 because we've been trying to get caught up with,
And no financial statements for 12.
we
Okay.
didn't sign that originally?
I thought they were.
Not that I can find.
Boy, I thought we
No
did. I
financial
thought
statement from
because,
Dwellers?
That's 10.
It should have been signed.
because we were
Because
chasing
we were
Bolio
not-
around for the information.
Yes,
All
I
right.
was asking for like 6 months for the information.
The only one that is signed, and it was signed on August 6th. Well, we received it August 6th. And it says, we will audit the financial statements for the year ending December 31st, 2012.
Who's preparing the financial statements?
The audits, we
But they did not.
gave them the audits first and then found out we had to do the financial statements, didn't we?
Wasn't 2012 the one where it was not completed because Lyford became too ill to
I
work?
believe so.
2011,
He completed-
Lyford did not complete. We're talking about 2012.
I thought 2011 was completed.
Now,
Okay, all right, never mind. That's what I think people understood at the end of the meeting.
That's why I'm trying to correct this, because the things that we agreed to is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
We did not look to Bulio to do the financials for 2012. We
Well,
did sign an agreement for them to do
the audit.
the audit. Nothing in here tells me that
But it would be a separate letter.
they're
wouldn't
going to do the financials
From 13?
for 12.
Yes, yeah, we did. Yes, they were going to do 12 and 13.
No,
Yes, that is what we said.
well,
it? But the
I
the
don't.
financial
Although you-
statement is in a different letter.
all right.
Maybe Ash is right, because remember the very first thing we started off with was Bulio selling us on, he had two divisions, one to do financial statements
Yep,
and one to do audits.
yep.
And he didn't have the information in the financial statements to do the audits. And I swear we signed a 15, 15, and 15. 15 for 12, two 15s for 12, and one for, at least one for 11, maybe 2.
11 is done by John Lyford. The audit is by Bollier.
Yeah.
Okay, then
11.
that would have been one 15 for 2011.
I have an agreement that Bulio would prepare a draft of the financial statements for December 31st, 2013. Financial statement,
For 2013,
yeah.
he will prepare the financial statements for
2013.
2013.
And also the audit.
Well,
No, I don't think you have an audit
We haven't
letter
signed
yet.
that up yet.
We don't have that for 2013.
Oh.
But didn't he did some work for the nursing home that needs to already go?
Yeah, but that wasn't an audit, that was the stuff we had to get
Yeah.
into the government by
Yeah, but
March
he-
15.
So he already was
In order to
working.
in order to get get our money.
2013.
think I have all the agreements that we had with Ron Brulio and Company.
So this is it, this is what it said. This is the financial statements
Financial
for
statements.
2013.
That they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
Correct. Nothing about an audit.
that should be a separate letter you should have, a
don't
separate
have it.
engagement letter.
Unless you have it, I don't have it.
No, he never sent anything to me. The office should have it. I will call him today and I will ask him what engagement letters he has.
All right, the one that has not been signed, that is in question right now. We did not sign the one, financial statements for 2010.
But you already brought it up a few times.
We did not sign that one, okay?
We haven't signed the financial statement for 2010, is that what you just said?
That's correct.
That's correct, because we're
That's
waiting to
correct.
see whether
That's
Nathan and
correct.
Rich are gonna step up to the plate.
Right.
I was just so sure that you had both of them for 2012, though.
Well, that was my recollection
Yes,
too.
but
2012, I
For
have
2012.
auditing the financial statements.
That's the audit.
That's the audit, but I don't have anything saying that they're gonna do the financials.
well, they're pretty good in sending engagement letters, so. to ask them.
2011, what did I do with 2012?
So
You got-
there is one here,
got
this is for
13.
13, this is the financial statements. Do you have from 2000, or so you say, no, you have no audit for 2013? Thought that we discussed that?
Yeah, no, that's right.
What do you have from 12?
From 12 is this one right here, audit the financial statement
So,
for 12.
so you have the audit
Okay.
here from 12?
Yeah,
And do you have the financial statements from
No.
12?
no?
Okay. And
And 2011,
11?
they will do the audit of the financial statements.
Yeah, because LIFO did the financial statements. And from 2010, you have the audit,
Yes,
and we're waiting for corrections on the
Right.
financial statements.
so we need to correct the minutes.
Okay, so it should be 3, prepare audits for 2012, and 4, prepare financial statements for 2013.
I'm
We'll
gonna
audit the
check.
financials for 2012.
I'm gonna
That's
check
correct.
that, for you.
And that they would do, where's 13? They would prepare a draft of the financial statements for 2013.
Okay.
You're reading that off their engagement letter?
Yep.
Okay.
But I don't have that they're gonna do the financials for 2012.
I thought that
Well, we
was
better check and see what that
discussed
one is, because I swear to God, we
I
signed one for
thought
that.
that we discussed that, though. That they were going to do statements, and he said it also when he came here June 25th, that from 2012, he was going to do the financial statements and the audit. I believe. I didn't watch the video. I have to watch it.
Well, I don't have it.
Okay, so the next 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth full paragraph down will also need to be changed, because you have contracts with Bolio for the financial statements of 2013.
Yes.
And audits of 2012 and 2011.
Audit for 2011. And the audit for 2012.
And 2011, yeah, okay.
Okay, so we need to find out whoever might have it, if we did sign it. I don't have a record of it.
Yeah, well,
We
you
have
can
no
ask
financial for 2012 to be done by Bulio,
Okay, so.
We have an
He
audit.
should know.
but we have no financials. We didn't ask them to do a financial for 2012.
We did ask, I mean, well,
Do you want to table the minutes until you check and see if there's a
Yes.
contract missing from that set?
Yes.
Okay.
and now you said also no audit from 13, correct?
Nothing has been done for 13 as far as an audit.
No, that's right. Financial
But
statements,
you have the-
yes.
The statements, yeah, and no
From
financial
13.
set from 12, okay.
But no financial statement for 12.
So 10 is okay, 11 is okay, 12, no financial statements, 13, no audit, or you don't have the paperwork.
Right.
So maybe he has it then.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? All right, we'll hold those minutes over until we get that corrected.
On to the next set of minutes,
And the next one would be
the 25th
June
of
25th.
June.
That was a couple of months ago.
Somewhere on here, Cheryl,
Oh, is this the one where it's missing the no?
you left out the word no, and I read it over, I don't know how many times, and I can't find where I saw that.
Okay.
You are missing the word no,
I will look for it.
K-N-O-W, somewhere around in one of these
Okay,
paragraphs.
I don't guess that.
No more copies up here.
Okay.
We just have the right set.
Well, I believe I read it a few weeks ago, and I didn't see my statement in. I believe I said if Mason and Rich did the financials, then we should go back to them for the corrections. I don't have a copy here. I don't know if it is maybe down. No, I don't think they gave me any copy from the 25th.
You get it every week by email.
Oh, no, I'm talking about a paper copy.
All you have to do is push the print button.
Yeah, I didn't get one. Usually I get one on my desk.
Okay, do we have any recommendations for those minutes?
I'll make a motion we approve them with the exception of the mysterious word no. Yeah, I make a motion we accept the minutes of June 25th.
Do we have a second?
Second, for discussion, like I just said, I made a statement, I mentioned if Mason and Rich did the financials, that we need to go back to them for the corrections. I don't believe that it is in my statement.
Where do you want that to be placed?
I don't have the set in front
I
of
don't
me.
have it in
I
front of
read
me,
it
so
a
I don't
few
know.
weeks ago. And that is that piece when we were talking about the 2010, who did the financial statements.
Motion made and seconded. Under discussions, Commissioner Kenney would like added that she stated that we need to go back to Mason and Rich for 2010?
I say if Mason and Rich did the financial statements, then we have to go back to Mason and Rich for the corrections.
For 2010?
Yes, for 2010.
Yes, she did say that.
Okay.
I don't know where she said it, but she did say it.
Okay. All those in support of the motion as corrected, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, so voted then. All right, we'll hold over the July 7th until we get those Bulio engagement letters straightened out.
Okay. Do you want to hold the non-public minutes?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Have anything else to be brought up today?
Nope. Oh, I don't.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
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 So voted.